the night meets the morning sun. I'd like to know that it's just a love unsure. So tell me now, when I won't I still get my loving? Will you still love me? Will you still love me?
There it is by the Four Seasons, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?
You can take Salem out of the country, but you can't take the country out of Salem. You can take Salem out of the country, but you can't take the country out of Salem.
Salem, the taste that's country soft, country fresh, wherever you light up. Salem gently air softens every puff. So take a puff. It is springtime.
You can take Salem out of the country, but you can't take the country out of Salem. You can take Salem out of the country, but
25 degrees and 18 minutes until all the news. Governor Nelson Rockefeller of New York has taken himself out of the race for the Republican presidential nomination, but has not shut the door to a draft. Jordan has asked the UN to take punitive action against Israel for today's attack on Jordanian territory, and the State Department reports no progress in the latest meeting with North Korea on the Pueblo case. A couple of the headlines, total news on the hour for you. Nevada mining inspector Mergen Gallagher predicts that the new free price market in gold will stimulate activity in some of his state's historic mining areas. He says, I wouldn't be surprised to see 2,000 miners in Virginia City soon. So maybe you've given some thought to gold mining. There's your chance. Grab that pick out of mothballs and head on out there. Downtown, everywhere you look, there are signs of spring. Now that's because it's Spring Fashion Week, sponsored by the Downtown Council of Minneapolis. Tomorrow, fashions go underneath the heated canopy of Minneapolis Gas Company. Minis, maxis, and musts is the show title, and the time is 12 noon sharp, right at the whistle. Commentator Jan Werner. Spring is everywhere downtown, especially on the fabulous Nicollet Mall. There's always more of everything for you in downtown Minneapolis. Okay, on Weather 25, finalists will be determined tonight in the National Invitation Basketball Tournament at New York. Kansas faces St. Peter's, and Notre Dame meets Dayton. 3-game schedule in the American Basketball Association tonight. The Muskies have completed their season. Now they're waiting for the playoffs to get underway. 2 games in the National Hockey League, Chicago at Boston, Toronto at Detroit. Tony Jacklin of England and Ray Botts of Detroit are tied for the first-round lead in the Pensacola Open Golf Tournament. They both posted 6-under-par 66s today.
From the Christian Brothers, fine wines in the tradition of yesteryear, today. Made with the craft of yesteryear in the brothers' own California wineries. And aged with the patience of yesteryear to stand on your table with pride, today. Say you're giving a buffet, an elegant buffet, and you'd like to serve an elegant rosé to complement everything on your table. The Christian Brothers California Napa Rosé is an elegant rosé. Napa Rosé complements not only your table, but your taste. Complement your table with the Christian Brothers medium dry Napa Rosé or the very dry California Vin Rosé, products of the Christian Brothers, Napa, California.
Now it's time for Weatherball Weather, brought to you by the 17 Northwestern banks of the Twin City area, who invite you to bank at the sign of the Weatherball.
Northwestern National Bank, may we help you today?
The 5-day forecast was just issued for the Twin Cities. The normal high of 42 and the normal low of 22 will be about 3 degrees above that, I should say. Precipitation will total less than 1/10 inch melted, so it'll be a little bit warmer in the next 5 days, and that's good news. Now for North Dakota, scattered snow flurries tonight, not much temperature change also. Warmer Friday through Saturday, lows tonight 5 above, the highs Friday 36 in the east to 42 in the west. South Dakota, there will be a few scattered snow flurries tonight and in the east portion Friday. Not much temperature change tonight. Warmer Friday through Saturday with the lows tonight 10 with the highs Friday 38 in the east to 44 in the west. For Iowa, colder tonight, generally fair Friday night, Friday and Saturday. Low tonight about 15 in the north to 20 in the south, the high Friday 40. For Wisconsin, occasional light snow flurries tonight, a little colder in the southeast. Lows tonight will be 10 above in the northwest to 18 in the southeast. A little colder Friday, the highs in the 20s. Continued rather cold Friday night with a chance of occasional snow flurries, not much temperature change Saturday. For Minnesota, scattered light snow or snow flurries tonight and in the east and south portions Friday. Not much temperature change tonight, Friday and Friday night. Warmer Saturday. Lows tonight 5 below in the north to 8 above in the south. Highs Friday 26 in the north to 35 in the south. We'll have a look at the Twin Cities forecast and the readings right after this from the Northwestern National Banks.
Feel like you just can't wait for spring? Well, you don't have to, because it's spring right now at the Northwestern Banks. There's the fragrance of fresh flowers in the air, the sound of birds chirping, beautiful garden displays with flowers and shrubs, plus new patio ideas. And to acquaint you with doing business at Northwestern Bank, we'll give you a free gift just for opening a new savings account for $25 or more, or for investing in a 5% savings certificate. You can choose from rose bushes, bulbs, either dahlias, begonias, or gladiolas, a set of 8 glasses, a portable barbecue, a picnic blanket, a thermos bottle, a carving set, or a garden tool set. Stop in soon. Open your new account and get a preview of spring.
Northwestern National Bank, may we help you today?
For the Twin Cities, variable cloudiness with a chance of a few snow flurries tonight and Friday, fair to partly cloudy Friday night and Saturday. Little temperature change tonight, Friday, and Friday night. Warmer Saturday. Northerly wind 6 to 12 miles per hour tonight, increasing to 8 to 15 miles per hour Friday. Low tonight 12 degrees, the high Friday 30, low Friday night 12. The precipitation probability 10% all the way through. Currently it's 25 degrees, the wind is northwest at 10, humidity 55%, the barometer is steady at 30.23 inches, 25 degrees. Weatherball weather is brought to you 10 times each week on KSTP by the 17 Northwestern banks of the Twin City area, the Weatherball banks.
Northwestern National Bank, may we help you today?
12 minutes and then 6 o'clock, I will have the names of the winners in our KSTP Think Spring contest coming up here in 1 minute.
Presenting another stirring tale of how the Dodge Boys cured Dodge fever.
Around the campfire, the Dodge Boys sat, swapping stories of this and that, when some Injun braves who were tall and lean suddenly disrupted this peaceful scene. Things were looking awful bad when an Injun brave said,
"Now, don't be mad. Big Chief Bill, we not know what wrong. He just sit in a daze the whole day long."
The Dodge Boys then examined the chief, and they sighed as they exclaimed with relief,
"It's Dodge fever he's got, we know that for sure, and the deal from us Dodge boys is clearly the cure."
And the cure is a 68 Dodge Polara. Big, powerful, and luxurious, with over 100 thoughtful options and a host of features you'd normally expect to pay extra for. Yet it's priced by the Dodge Boys in the same league as Impala and Galaxy. There's no better bargain than a brand new Polara.
yes, Dodge fever sure is spreading. There's no escaping that.
So visit us great Dodge boys, we're the good guys in white hats.
See your Twin Cities area Dodge dealers, the good guys in those white hats. Well, the official word is in. From the weather people, the guessers, the experts, or however you label them, from the U.S. Weather Bureau, they tell us that on the first day of spring, March 20th, the high temperature for the day was 31 degrees, according to their official records. 31 was the high, so the winners, first prize, congratulations, to D. Johnson of 823 West 39th Street, a 10-pound bag of lawn seed, a 25-pound bag of fertilizer, and a lawn spreader with which to apply the lawn seed and the fertilizer. Congratulations. Second prize to Peggy Van Dusart of 308 6th Avenue South, the lawn rake and grass clippers, autographed, I hope. And third prize, George R. Barr of 181 Richmond Street, a pair of hedge trimmers. So there we go. The winners in our KSTP Think Spring contest. Good going to you. And we could spring another contest on you in the near future. Who knows? Could be a spring one again.
Me? I had just rented a truck from U-Haul. We were moving.
It's a new life. It's a new life. U-Haul's here to tell you. It's a new life. Lots of new things. New ways to do things. It's a new life we're headed for. It's a new life.
And it's very in to save money.
It's a new life.
But there's more to life than that. With U-Haul, you save money and get a sense of accomplishment. It's easy right from the start. Ford trucks, loading ramps, and a few other gizmos.
Hey, Dad, you sure moved that knee with that thing.
Daddy, can I ride in the moving van with you?
All finished? I'll put the kids to bed.
And me, I did it.
It's a new life.
It wasn't hard. There's even a free booklet on how to do it. But I did it. Me, with some help from you-know-who.
U-Haul for the new life.
Here's hoping your bowling scores are going to be way, way up there. Congratulations going out to Roy Newton. He rolled a 707 for the top local bowling score yesterday. And Bob O'Hare posted a 702. And Marge Pinkston, 630, led the gal bowlers. Bowlers from 6 Midwestern states, 340 total, will compete in the Twin Cities section of the National Benai Brith Tournament this weekend at Southtown Bowl in Bloomington and Minnehaha Lanes in St. Paul. 38 local teams bowled in the tournament last weekend. So welcome to the out-of-towners, and throw that ball down there in the pocket. There it is, the excellent sound of Herbie Mann, and it's called Unchain My Heart. Will you do that, please? Unchain.
Green, green your lawn today with T-R-E-B-L. New treble is the way to keep grass green and well.
Greenfield's new treble kills crabgrass, fertilizes your lawn, and kills soil insects, all for just 3 cents a square yard. And during Greenfield's green sale, you get a pound of grass seed, a bluegrass mixture, free with every bag of treble.
New treble is the way to keep grass green and well.
Talking welcome, I'd like to welcome the annual State College Republican Convention. That'll go at the Pick Nicollet Hotel this Saturday and Sunday. Representative Albert H. Quee of Minnesota will be the keynote speaker at the Saturday night banquet. Governor Harold Levander and Lieutenant Governor James Getz and Attorney General Douglas Head will also appear at the session. So that's the annual State College Republican Convention this weekend. Brooks Henderson reports the General Electric business news every night at 5:10, Monday through Friday, KSTP Radio. You'll hear the market closing and the prices on nationally listed local and regional stocks. The GE business news with Brooks Henderson, Monday through Friday, 5:10, KSTP Radio.
Are you in the habit of calling distant friends and family members on Sunday? It's a great time for a long-distance visit, and the price is right. But now, the price is just as right on Saturday. Just 85 cents or less for an out-of-state 3-minute station call to anywhere in the continental United States except Alaska. Now, long distance is a bigger bargain than ever, all day Saturday and Sunday. So, if you're in the mood, call a day early, on Saturday.
Edina 63, Hayfield 49, Duluth Central 70, Granite Falls 55, and the games to look forward to tonight, Highland Park versus Moorhead, Mankato versus East Grand Forks. All that high school tournament action here on KSTP Radio 15. Let's go with Bill Cosby from his brand new album with a wild title, To Russell, My Brother Whom I Slept With. Here's about Bill's kids. Bill?
I have 2 daughters. 2. One is 2. That's the definition of a 2-year-old is any child with the right hand reach of 8 feet. Man, I'm telling you, no matter what I move away from her, she can still get at it from the position she's standing in. That arm grows and grows and grows. You ever feed a 2-year-old? 2-year-olds are ball makers. They sit down and take all the food, potatoes, string beans, and the steak, and they roll it up in a ball. All of it goes into a ball. Then they hand it to you. Hey, Dad, you want some? No, not if you don't want Dad to throw up. You don't want me to bite. No. 1-year-old, I have a 1-year-old. She's a circle maker with the food. Right away, picks her spoon up, no matter what it is. Round and round and round and round. It goes in a circle. And a 1-year-old never puts food in its mouth. They are fed by their own way, which is the mashing method. They mash it into the mashed potatoes, mash in through the brain down to the stomach. All peas and green things go in the ear by that way. Meat goes in the neck. All milk slides down the chest and into the belly button where it is sucked up.
There it is, Bill Cosby, and a track from his new album called To Russell, My Brother Whom I Slept With. We'll be checking with Bill a little bit later on. It's 25 degrees, the Twin Cities, spring shopping for a new car, possibly. Well, shop Countryside Volkswagen, where you can not only get a new car, but the kind of automobile that rewards the pocketbook as well. Of course, I'm talking about Volkswagen. The foreign car millions of American families have been adopting since 1949. Countryside not only handles Volkswagens, but is now St. Paul's exclusive Porsche dealer, has a staff of factory-trained experienced mechanics, an outstanding selection of used cars, and instant, on-the-spot financing. Remember, the early bird gets a Countryside deal on his spring car buy at Countryside Volkswagen. That's Highway 36 at 61, just north of St. Paul and 4 miles south of White Bear. Coming up with the news, Dick Boucher in just moments. Downtown, everywhere you look, there are signs of spring. Now, that's because it's Spring Fashion Week, sponsored by the Downtown Council of Minneapolis. Tomorrow, for instance, fashions go underneath the heated canopy of Minneapolis Gas Company. Minis, maxis, and musts. The show title, it starts at noon. The commentator is Jan Werner. Spring is everywhere downtown, especially on the fabulous Nicollet Mall.
Now we switch you to the KSTP NBC Newsroom, news headquarters for the Northwest, your authoritative news source, serving you from St. Paul, Minneapolis.
This is Dick Boucher, KSTP News for Twin City Federal. The helping hand of Twin City Federal reminds you that membership in the Citizens League is the way to increase the power of your vote in local government. For more information, call 338-0791, the Citizens League, 338-0791. Byrne asks for adequate housing for low and moderate income families. Freeman says McCarthy and Kennedy's entry has him more confused than anything. The time at 6 o'clock. Stay tuned for news.
NBC Radio News on the Hour. Brought to you by 1968 Preem, the non-dairy creamer that's been tested for you. Now here is Dean Mell.
President Johnson and Senator Robert Kennedy have clashed again over the issue of Vietnam. Mr. Johnson told a group of young State Department workers headed for pacification duty in Vietnam that America's will not break in frustration and that peace with honor will be won. Senator Kennedy, in a speech to be delivered at Nashville, Tennessee later tonight, describes the president's call for unity as an attempt to suppress criticism of policies that are more dangerous to America than its enemies. Earlier, in a civil rights speech at the University of Alabama, an institution he forcibly integrated as Attorney General, Kennedy denounced the anarchy of black rioters and the repression of white demagogues. Kennedy's rival, Senator Eugene McCarthy, sought the support of young Democrats in Wisconsin. He told cheering college crowds in Racine and Janesville not to be deterred by charges that those against the war are appeasers. McCarthy said the essence of patriotism is to serve your country in truth. Governor Nelson Rockefeller's decision not to actively seek the presidency drew Republican praise for averting a divisive party fight and shocked disappointment from a few diehard supporters. Richard Nixon, the man who gains the most by Rockefeller's refusal to challenge him, is not yet claiming the GOP nomination. As he left New York to campaign in the Wisconsin primary, Nixon noted that Rockefeller had not excluded himself from a convention draft. Rockefeller has withdrawn from the Oregon primary. Barry Goldwater, the GOP nominee in 1964, congratulated Rockefeller for what Goldwater called a courageous and intelligent decision which will contribute immeasurably to a Republican victory. There was no White House reaction to the Rockefeller statement. News Secretary George Christian said the president did not hear it. More news after this from Preem.
Melons, nice and juicy melons. Hey, try a melon, lady. Go ahead, squeeze them. That's how you test a melon. Nice,
You
huh?
can squeeze a melon. But how do you test a jar of powdered creamer? You look for the Preem label. In one of the largest taste tests ever conducted, Preem beat the other two leading brands by as much as 3-1. Richer, lighter Preem. Only 11 calories per teaspoon. It's already tested for you.
The people who help the cola companies take the calories out of colas and keep the good taste in are the very same people who make Sucril, America's favorite no-calorie sweetener. Sucril. It figures.
Again, Dean Mell.
At the United Nations Security Council, Russia denounced an American proposal to send in UN truce observers to supervise a ceasefire between Israel and Jordan. The Soviets joined with Jordan in demanding sanctions against Israel for invading Arab territory. The battle zone is slowly returning to normal. For a report, here's NBC News correspondent Alvin Rosenfeld in Tel Aviv.
The Israeli forces which struck into Jordan today to wipe out sabotage bases had all withdrawn across the River Jordan by nightfall. But artillery duels continued for hours thereafter. So said the Israel Army Chief of Staff, Major General Chaim Bar-Lev, at a news conference tonight. General Bar-Lev said the Israeli forces had achieved their goal of destroying 3 major terrorist bases, and his intelligence chief expressed the hope that the attack would teach the Jordanians to control the saboteurs. The Army Chief of Staff reported that Israeli forces had driven 6 miles inside Jordanian territory, killed about 150 terrorists, and captured scores of others. Israel's own losses, he said, were 17 dead and about 60 wounded in this, the biggest ground battle since the June War. Alvin Rosenfeld, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
More in a moment.
Here I am, bothered by acid indigestion, gas, and heartburn, and you introduced this great discovery to doctors 5 years ago.
Yes, we had to be sure our Digel formula works for you as no plain antacid can. Look, your plain antacid neutralizes excess acid, but Digel relieves excess acid, and its extra ingredient simethicone relieves gas and heartburn, too.
And Digel tastes good.
Thanks. Get Digel. It's more than an antacid.
Allied military actions are underway from Saigon to the coastal plains 300 miles northeast of the capital. While no single battle has been of major significance, the total effect has been to keep the enemy off balance and thwart his attempt to stage a new offensive. Classes remain closed at Howard University in Washington, D.C., where black militant students occupy some dormitories. Once again, the hour's top story, Senator Kennedy describes President Johnson's call for national unity, an attempt to suppress criticism of policies that are more dangerous to America than its enemies. Dean Mell, NBC News, New York.
This is Dick Boucher, KSTP News, Minneapolis-St. Paul, presented by the 9 offices of Twin City Federal, with the famous twin clocks flash time and temperature. Twin City Federal, first in strength and safety for your savings. Now flashing 5 minutes after 6 and 25 degrees. In the Minnesota State Basketball Tournament, defending state champion Edina and Duluth Central won their opening games. In the opener, Edina captured a 63-49 win over Hayfield after a stubborn first 3 quarters. Central, meanwhile, pulled away from Granite Falls to win 70-55. Action resumes tonight at 7:30 with airtime 7:15 over KSTP Radio. Secretary of Agriculture Orville Freeman, campaigning for President Johnson in Wisconsin today, said the entry of Senators Eugene McCarthy and Robert Kennedy have him more confused than anything he has ever known.
I didn't know I was tougher on Senator McCarthy and Senator Kennedy. They can take care of themselves, I'm sure. I think I said this morning that I might not have said yesterday that they've confused me enormously, given the record of this administration, given the fact that they are both loyal Democrats, how they could be other than loyal to their president that has written this record and has given such leadership to the Democratic Party in the nation. In these difficult times, I said I frankly couldn't understand, and I'll repeat it now. For the life of me, I can't understand it.
Agriculture Secretary Orville Freeman in northern Minnesota. Minnesota Senator Eugene McCarthy is in Wisconsin today. John Esther of station WOKY reports for KSTP News.
Senator Eugene McCarthy, campaigning in Wisconsin this afternoon, said New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller's decision not to run for the Republican presidential nomination would give people what he called an opportunity to make a choice without confusion. McCarthy, who is seeking the Democratic presidential nomination as a peace candidate, said Rockefeller's position on the war was at best an uncertain one. He said the New York Republicans' withdrawal tends to clarify things. McCarthy said Rockefeller's withdrawal would help him, if anyone, by pulling anti-war Republican votes. But he added that the Rockefeller decision would have little effect in Wisconsin because the New York governor had not been listed on the Republican presidential primary ballot. This is John Esther reporting for KSTP from Milwaukee.
McCarthy said the boost in milk price supports announced by Freeman yesterday was the first tangible benefit to befall Wisconsin because of his candidacy. St. Paul's Mayor Thomas Byrne was in Washington, D.C. today to testify before a Senate committee.
I appeared before the Senate Banking and Finance Committee, the Housing Subcommittee of the Banking and Finance Committee, and to testify concerning the housing bill now before Congress. It is a bill that concerns the urban renewal, new procedures for rental supplements, and new home ownership concepts for the low and moderate income people. It concerns itself with the Model Cities program. We endorsed all of those developments, and we indicated a few new ideas that have been talked about but are not yet a part of the bill. Primarily one, an urban development fund.
The prime thrust of his testimony was a request of Congress to provide adequate housing for low and moderate income families, which, said the St. Paul mayor, inadequate housing is a major cause of urban unrest. We'll have weather in just a moment. It's 9 minutes after 6 and 25 degrees. You know what makes Twin City Federal 6-month savings certificates one of the best investments you can find? That 5.25% per year speaks up loud and clear. It's paid semi-annually from the day you put your money to work. On top of that, add the tremendous strength and safety which has long attracted savers to Twin City Federal. Considering all that, why be satisfied with less than 5.25% per year? Move up to savings certificates issued in amounts of $5,000 or more. The Twin City Federal folks will gladly tell you all about them.
Twin City Federal, where the famous twin clock flashes time and temperature. Twin City Federal.
The Helping Hand at Twin City Federal reminds you that membership in the Citizens League is the way to increase the power of your vote in local government. For more information, call 338-0791, the Citizens League. Variable cloudiness with a chance of snow flurries for tonight and tomorrow. Fair to partly cloudy tomorrow night and for Saturday. Warmer for Saturday. Northerly winds 6 to 12 miles per hour for tonight, increasing to 8 to 15 miles per hour for tomorrow. Low tonight 12 degrees, the high tomorrow 30 degrees, and the low tomorrow night 12 degrees. Presently, humidity is 55%, the barometer rising slowly, it's up to 30.24. Winds out of the northwest at 12 miles per hour. We have snow flurries in the Twin Cities, and the present temperature reading 25 degrees. This is Dick Boucher, KSTP News, presented by the largest savings institution in our wonderful part of the country, Twin City Federal, the home of thrift. Portions of the news pre-recorded. Next scheduled news at 6:30.
You think you're upright, and then you see the light of better ideas from Ford. Those better ideas from Ford. See the light, see the light, see the light.
See the light. There's never been a better time to buy a new wagon from Ford, the Wagon Master. Only Ford offers its famous two-way magic door gate on wagons in 3 different sizes, including compacts. And only Ford in its class offers hidden headlights at no extra cost on the top-of-the-line Country Squire. Better ideas make Ford wagons the world's best sellers. See them now at your Ford dealers. See why the switch is on to Ford.
Those better ideas from Ford. See the light, see the light.
This has been a presentation of KSTP News, your complete news source, serving you from Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Green, green, a greener lawn, new green power is the way.
Greenfield's Green Power Lawn Food is the best greenkeeper you ever had, with iron and nitrogen plus to make your grass green and beautiful. Feed your lawn all spring for less than 1 cent per square yard. And during Greenfield's Green Sale, you'll get a pound of grass seed, a bluegrass mixture, free with every big bag of green power.
Greenfield's got a green sale on, to green your cares away.
The Bush Duchene Show. Charlie on for Steve Cannon, who happens to be in Hawaii at present. Charlie's on from 6 to 10. By the way, tomorrow morning he'll have $705 cash. Dialing for dollars money at 9:15. Don Duchene here. Let's go with Cab Driver. This is by the Mills Brothers. Sing along if you like.
Driver, drive by the future at her feet. Cab driver, once more down the street. Cab driver, why don't you wait here by her door? Perhaps I'll hold her in my arms once more. And then things will be just like they were before. Oh, cab driver, wait here by her door. Cab driver, better take me home. I guess that I was meant to be alone. I hope God sends me a loved one of my own. Cab driver, better take me home. Cab driver, better take me home.
The great one by the Mills Brothers called Cab Driver. 6:15 KSTP time. 1 hour from now, we'll be joining high school basketball again. Don Beeler, Reed McKenzie, and Joe Hutton Jr., the coach of Lincoln High in Bloomington, with expert commentary. And our team will get on there at 7:15, the pregame show, and then the evening action. Highland Park versus Moorhead and Mankato against East Grand Forks. If you haven't heard the scores of the afternoon games, well, here they are. 63-49, Edina. 70-55, Duluth Central. Edina then broke the undefeated string as far as Hayfield is concerned, and Duluth Central over Granite Falls 70-55. Other scores, the Twins won 2 games today. They split up, the A squad and the B squad. They played Los Angeles in both cases. The A team 7-6, and the B team 5-4.
The name that's known is Firestone,
The Safe Tire.
where the rubber meets the road.
Save now during Firestone's big White Wall tire sale. Get Firestone's White Wall tires at Black Wall tire prices. Now on sale, the famous Firestone Deluxe Champion, the Safe Tire. During Firestone's big White Wall tire sale, you can save up to $5.50 a tire, as much as $22 on a complete set. Save now during Firestone's Deluxe Champion White Wall tire sale. Buy one or buy a set. No money down, months to pay at participating Firestone dealers or stores.
The name that's known is Firestone,
The Safe Tire.
where the rubber meets the road. Firestone, the safe tire.
Bill Ryan in news, or possibly Dean Mell. Bill is on assignment. Dean Mell possibly could be on for him at the half-hour mark. Our regular KSTP NBC News of the World feature. The Waconia Ridgeview Hospital Auxiliary presenting a Spring Happening Style Show. It's on tonight at 8 at the high school. Why not take it in? The Phyllis Wheatley Community Center having their 43rd annual meeting tonight, starting at 6:30 at the center. Guest speaker will be noted playwright Robert H. Decoy. And Mr. Decoy will also be on with Henry Wolfe tonight. And other guests will be Evelyn Lincoln, former secretary to the late John F. Kennedy, and author and historian Kay Lynn, oceanographer. So that's the Henry Wolfe Show, which will be on the air on Radio 15 right after the basketball. Little Abner will be performed by the Highland Park Junior High tonight at 8 o'clock at the school on South Snelling. There will be a spring-style show at 7:30 tonight at the Phillips Junior High, 13th Avenue and 22nd Street, Minneapolis. The South St. Paul High School PTA conducting its annual scholarship dinner in the cafeteria, and that's on in progress to 7:30. And one other item. Psychedelics and religious life will be the subject of a public lecture to be given at the College of St. Catherine's. It's on this evening in St. Joseph's Hall, and the time for it 7:30.
We've always had this argument about wines. Helen liked one kind, I liked another. And we don't know much about wines, so we asked the man. You know what he said? Get together with Chateau LaSalle. We've been together ever since.
So my brother-in-law said, waiter, a bottle of red wine. And I said, wait a minute, we're having chicken. That's white wine. And the wife, who's pretty smart sometimes, said, let's get together with Chateau LaSalle. And she was right. It was great with everything.
And I wanted to get something different. But some of the girls like wine with lunch, some like cocktails before. And during the afternoon, it's drinks. You know, something light on the rocks with soda or punch of some kind. So I said to myself, I'll get the girls together with Chateau LaSalle.
Whenever you're having a get-together for dinner or for drinks, get together with Chateau LaSalle, a light, naturally sweet wine from California, a product of the Christian Brothers, Napa, California.
A pun in from the Playstead Arctic expedition. I understand they reported over the radio that the Arctic region is still snowman's land. Oh, boy. Spirits are high, evidently. Peter Nero with this one, Try to Remember. Try to remember Peter Nero on KSTP. Kind of fun to remember. Think back, nostalgia. Especially with music. It's fun to go back and grab some of those oldies. Relive those good old days. And, of course, you have an occupation like the genealogist. Genealogist, he's a person who traces the family tree. The actual definition of a genealogist is a person who traces your family as far back as your money will go.
Only Mustang makes it happen. Only Mustang makes life great. Mustang moves you. Mustang grooves you. Mustang 68.
It's Mustang happening time right now at your Ford dealers, and nothing quite like it has ever happened before. He's offering the limited edition Mustang Sprint with special equipment combinations never before available. Sprint down to your Ford dealers right now and get a great deal on a Mustang Sprint during his big Mustang happening. That's your Ford dealer. Only Mustang makes it happen.
Only Mustang makes it happen. Mustang 68.
You can get special deals on all the great 68 Fords during your Ford dealer's Mustang happening. It's a great time to get the Mustang Sprint or light up your life with Ford's newest bright idea, Torino. See your Ford dealer now. Twin City weather, variable cloudiness, a low tonight of 12. There is a chance of a few snow flurries through tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon we should bounce out to about 30 degrees.
You know why my generation uses U-Haul trucks? Even moving, we like to do things a better way.
It's a new life. It's a new life. U-Haul's here to tell you. It's a new life. Lots of new things. New ways to do things. It's a new life we're headed for. It's a new life. It's a new life. It's a new life. It's a new life. Lots of new things. New ways to do things. It's a new life we're headed for. 2,000 miles. 1,000 miles. 800 miles. 500 miles. When you move with U-Haul. It's a new life. It's a new life. U-Haul's here to tell you. It's a new life. Lots of new things. New ways to do things. U-Haul for the new life.
High school basketball games this afternoon, Edina 63 and Hayfield 49. The other tournament games, 70 for Duluth Central, 55 Granite Falls. How do you pick them tonight? Highland Park against Moorhead. Moorhead is back from last year's tournament. Mankato had a great year going against East Grand Forks. So that's the evening action. We'll have the pregame show with the KSTP announcing team coming up at 7:15.
Have you been to Dayton's Downstairs Great March Sale? If not, you'd better hurry. Today is your last chance to scoop up the bargains. You'll be delighted with the great savings on spring fashions for the whole family, plus home furnishing values. If you love a bargain, it's worth your while to get to Dayton's Downstairs. Time's a-wastin'. Remember, the March sale ends today at Dayton's Downstairs, all Dayton stores.
Bill Cosby coming up here in just a moment.
Macaroni, please.
Macaroni. A genius. He brought music to the world.
Macaroni?
Just a flick of the dial. You hear O Sole Mio, some cha-cha, the news.
Macaroni is the perfect pasta from Jenny Lee, Luigi. On the shelf right behind you.
Oh, macaroni. Sure. I thought you meant that fellow who invented the radio.
Serve your family Jenny Lee macaroni, and they'll shout, bravo.
1-year-olds know how to destroy grown people. 1-year-old, man. My daughter knows when I'm sleeping on the sofa how to pick that ashtray up and drop it right on my forehead. And I wake up and look, and there's that smile. You ever hear a 1-year-old talk to you? It's not for that. And I talk right back to her. What's the move? And she says, they're cursing at me. I know it. Because I never hear her talking to her 2-year-old sister. They don't sit there and say, when they're playing, they don't say anything. And whenever the 1-year-old gets upset, she just says, rah, and cries. But when she comes over to me, it's always, I think she's calling me names, man. Because she smiles a lot when she does it.
Hi,
Hi, Joe Garagiola here for the Associates. I know a lot of people who seem to think that professional athletes are on easy street. Big salaries, bonuses, endorsements. But as a matter of fact, except for the superstars, most athletes have to watch their earnings just as carefully as you do. Because the guy who sends the bill doesn't care if you're a ball player or not. He wants his money, right now. Which gives me a chance to mention the Associates. They're nice people with money to loan you for any good purpose. For doctor or dentist bills, for auto repairs or school expenses, even for a vacation. And they'll do it quickly with payments set up to suit you best. Take it from me, Joe Garagiola. Whenever you need money, whether you're a shortstop or a plumber, think of the Associates. They're nice people with money.
The Associates, nice people with money to loan you for any good purpose. You'll find Associates Industrial Loan Company in Minneapolis at 3016 Lindale Avenue South. Whatever your money needs may be, phone or see the Associates soon.
Have you ever fallen in love with a city? A city with 7 hills and 7,000 dramatic views. A city that enshrines old buildings as new skyscrapers take their place. A city where 28,000 citizens marched in spontaneous protest when their beloved cable cars were threatened. A city where you can enjoy gourmet dining at a different restaurant every night and not repeat yourself for perhaps 6 months. Western Airlines will jet you to this city, this San Francisco, any day of the year you're ready, with special excursion fares to tempt you on. Come fall in love with this city by the Golden Gate. She's beautiful.
Western Airlines, the only way to fly.
News 1 minute, 25 degrees, 629.
How do you pick a new car that will keep looking new long after you've bought it? Easy. Just choose one with the GM Mark of Excellence. A General Motors car. The only ones that give you the stay new construction of Body by Fisher. With high-style features like windshield wipers that disappear.
GM.
Seats with luxury furniture design.
GM.
Carpeting and fabric smart enough to be in your home.
GM.
Plus unseen features like a second set of fenders under the outside floor to protect your car from rust and corrosion.
GM.
Everything about a GM car is made to last, including the look of style. So look to Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and Cadillac, and the GM Mark of Excellence.
GM.
Clear Channel Radio 15, KSTP, serving you from Minneapolis, St. Paul. Now 6:30, and this is News of the World with Bill Ryan. We join in progress.
Rockefeller says it's plain a majority of the Republican leadership wants Nixon. Background on the Rockefeller announcement, among other factors, he saw he could not win the nomination. The New Yorker's decision takes a good deal of the pressure off Nixon, who says he is surprised by the Rockefeller decision, but not home yet. Speaking in Tennessee, Senator Robert Kennedy says the country is in danger from what he calls our misguided policies. It's the strongest attack he has yet made on the administration. Israel wraps up a one-day invasion of Jordan designed, says Israeli forces.